Tariffs are in effect, sort of. How deep and wide we go, the pause and the pushback. Plus, it is tax crunch time. What to do if you cannot make that April 15th deadline. And big changes coming to Ballpark Village. We're going to tell you what's changing at one of the most popular restaurants and when. Hey everybody, welcome to Michelle on the Money. We are looking at the big stories impacting your wallet in the bi-state from business to consumer news. Let's start off with those tariffs though. The Trump administration put a 90-day pause on many tariffs, but the reality is that the world's two largest economies continue to increase tariffs on each other. The U.S. is now in a trade war with China as of when this show was taped, by the way, but Trump tariffs right now on China totaling about 145%. China pushing back as well, saying that they are ready to fight to the end. But it does seem to change daily as we are looking at the range here from 11 to 50%. Also, that 84% on products from China has now changed. We do understand, though, that Chinese imports under $800 could get a pass for a while. Also should mention there are new insider trading concerns as the stock market continues to fluctuate and fall as well. We'll keep you posted. But from tariffs to turnovers, crowds have been using the weekends to protest the Trump administration's efforts to downsize the government, from Brentwood to Arnold and in Baldwin. Protesters are also upset about the administration's moves with the economy as well as human rights. One organizer told 5 on Your Side the current climate is turning more and more people towards activism.
The reality is there are a lot of amateurs like me who are just stepping in and figuring it out. I am not some operative who's been on the ground for 20 years. I moved here 5 years ago. I don't even really know Missouri politics the way that some people do. But I am not going to let that stop me, and people at home shouldn't either.
And some crowds had hundreds of protesters, and as you can see, even standing in the rain there. In the meantime, British car maker Jaguar Land Rover is pausing shipments to the U.S. for a month over President Trump's tariffs. The Trump administration placed tariffs on 25%, on all imported cars. The automaker says it is enacting the shipment pause in April as it addresses the new trading terms. Now, according to the company, Jaguar Land Rover has more than 200 dealerships across the United States. Also, the economy is making things like buy now, pay later very popular right now. Everything from DoorDash to weight loss medications like Wegovy now allows you to make payments on the product. But a 2023 study shows the problems it brings. Like you can see here, rapid increases in bank overdraft charges, overspending. And then a survey from the Morning Consult found that a quarter of users actually missed payments within the last month and had to pay late fees. Your credit score rating could also go down. Because of all the tariffs and uncertainty, there is a growing concern about what the cost of, what we buy every day, as well as our retirement accounts. So we sat down with Jeff Sachs from Sachs Financial for some everyday advice. I'm guessing we shouldn't really be surprised with the market drop, right?
No, not really. I mean, I think that we expected some tariffs to happen. I think the shock really came because most folks thought that the tariffs were going to be targeted and at specific areas and industries and maybe even specific companies, not across the board. And so what we've seen is a general reaction of the market saying, what is going to happen? And the stock market is an emotional thing at this point. It hasn't been really based on technical performance of companies. It's been about what we feel, what we think is going to happen. And because these tariffs give us so much uncertainty about what's next, you see the market react.
Yeah.
Before we get to the question here that was just sent in, I'm so glad to have you here. It's one of those things where the president talks a lot about he had tariffs in the first term.
Yep.
And like, hey, you didn't make a big deal then, and now you do. Are they bigger tariffs here? Okay.
Yeah, I think that's it, right?
Yeah.
And the idea with President Trump's first administration was to use it as a bargaining chip to try and do some things. And we saw some positive movements there. And then to come back this time and say, we're going to do it even bigger, has had the effect that we're seeing. So the question really is, which nobody knows right now, is how much of these tariffs are actually going to be permanent or how much of them are negotiating tactics
That will get pulled away or something. Okay.
That, if you're nice to us, we'll be nice to you kind of thing. So because it's so uncertain, we see the stock market have this volatility of this up and down.
Okay, well, we definitely have some questions this morning. I want to get to one, and I think this is interesting because this is from Jenna from Shelton, Connecticut.
Wow.
Thanks for watching in from Connecticut. And
right.
I'm not sure you can really answer all this, but this is kind of the gist. My question about tariffs is how much will the price of certain things increase due to them? Or will the people who own certain things change the size of products to keep the price the same or similar? So, like the shrinkflation that we've talked about. That's hard for you to answer, I'm sure, but things across the board are could be more expensive.
I mean,
right?
I think right now the concern is what is going to change, and we just don't know because it happened, 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So I do think that there will be some reactions. It's possible that things could become smaller. It's possible that costs could go up. I think it's more likely that costs will go up. I don't think that that in general we'll see costs go up tomorrow. A lot of companies that have durable goods have stockpiled. So as those stockpiles or other those things dissipate or get used up, then we should see some price increases if these tariffs.
I don't trust anybody, though. I mean, look at egg prices. Egg prices have gone down, and these grocery stores are still charging us an arm and a leg because they need to make up those profit losses.
Wow. And there's still so much fear, right?
Right,
The
well,
fear is kind of warranted right now,
I
correct?
mean, yeah, and the fear again is driving all of this uncertainty. And if you're close to retirement or thinking about retirement and you have money in the market, it is a concern right now. And so you have to kind of keep an eye on that. And even though that you're afraid or fearful of what might happen next, I would say don't make any rash moves, right? Don't wake up today and say, oh my gosh, the sky is falling, I need to sell everything. Now, I want to be careful here because I'm not giving advice.
Sure.
I'm just saying in general, let's take a minute before we take some action.
Okay, so then I do have a question because, we've done several interviews before. Is now a good time to retire? Or do you think that, because you've also talked about like semi-retirement, partial retirement.
Yeah.
What do you think?
So I think that if you are working with a financial advisor that's helped you put a plan in place and you know where your income is coming from, then retirement plans shouldn't be that affected. If you have been relying on the stock market or the probability that the market will be up when you retire and that the market will be there and provide you returns and give you income, then you may have to delay your retirement. And we saw that happen the last time we went into one of those big recessions. So what we know historically is that this too shall pass, right? We know that the markets are going to go down, and we know eventually they will go back up.
Thank you. He's
Eventually.
helping.
Eventually.
Yeah,
Helping to
eventually.
calm us, really.
Take a breath, relax.
you.
It'll all be okay. Eventually.
Eventually. All right. And again, that was Jeff Sachs from Sachs Financial. Right now, take a look. The Chesterfield Mall looks a lot different. Demolition started last October, and crews have made significant progress. You can see an entire segment of the mall has been reduced kind of to rubble now. Crews hope to begin developing a new commercial site dubbed Downtown Chesterfield in 2026. All right, you know what? You are running out of time to file your taxes. If you don't think you're going to get them done in time, you can file for an extension, but you might have to pay some fees. According to the IRS, the penalty to file late is 5% per month on the unpaid balance. And then keep in mind, filing your taxes will take longer if you experienced maybe a life-changing event in 2024, like getting married or having a child. We want to tell you about this recall. Hot sauce lovers, you might want to check your pantry. The brand Texas Pete is recalling certain bottles of its habanero buffalo sauce. The company says they may contain sriracha sauce, which isn't disclosed on the label, posing a serious allergy risk for some consumers. The affected bottles were sold in 10 states, including Illinois. And we know that a proposal to include weight loss drugs with Medicare and Medicaid has now been dropped. The Biden-era plan would have expanded access to GLP-1 medications for millions of Americans. The Trump administration says it may consider future policy options after more review of the drug's benefits and costs. Meanwhile, on Capitol Hill, a new ruling from the Supreme Court will now help keep certain vape products off of store shelves. The issue reached the High Court after the FDA refused to approve many flavored vaporizers, claiming that they were too appealing to minors. But it isn't quite resolved just yet, as SCOTUS sent the case to an appeals court for additional review. Well, right now, Bayer is calling on the U.S. Supreme Court to halt thousands of lawsuits, saying the company failed to warn that its weed killer Roundup could cause cancer. Bayer has been hit with about 181,000 lawsuits regarding Roundup and has set aside $16 billion for settlements. The company disputes cancer claims and notes that the federal government requires no such warning. Also, want to tell you about this. The Department of Health and Human Services announced that it will review fluoride levels and make new recommendations with the EPA. So this comes after an August report from the National Toxicology Program linked higher fluoride levels to lower IQ in kids. The CDC, the American Academy of Pediatrics, and the American Dental Association still support fluoride as being safe and effective.
It's time to go on the move. You know, I've been on the hunt for the solution to our pothole problem, and I may have found it. It's a homegrown fix developed by a company right here in Washington, Missouri.
We have a pothole problem around the country, the world, but especially in St. Louis. This is a timely issue for us to be showcasing the solution that's not just in a bag of mix. It's in the soybean fields here in Missouri.
You heard it, soybeans. BioSpan Technologies works with departments of transportations, municipalities, and private sector companies to extend the life of pavement.
This is what saves taxpayer dollars, it saves company budgets, and it saves a lot of carbon as well. Our company has been around for over 30 years, but I feel like we're the best kept secret that everyone needs to know about, but especially in St. Louis.
So an innovation like this could help limit the impact of these craters on your day and, of course, on your car.
Anyone could do this, anyone should be doing this. And this is the glue that bonds to the existing asphalt matrix.
The company says its product is safe for the environment. It could also increase the demand for soybeans and be a boost for local farmers. So here's hoping those pothole minefields we deal with every winter and spring will soon be a problem of the past. Stay safe out there. More traffic updates coming.
All right, how innovative. The state of Missouri has the newest, richest person. Okay, so according to Forbes' newest list of billionaires, listen up, David Stewart, the founder of Worldwide Technology, has now surged ahead with a real-time net worth of $11.4 billion. So why is this significant? Well, it's because he beats out the previous first place holder, Johnny Morris, the founder of Bass Pro Shops, who has a net worth of $9.3 billion. Pauline McMillan Kenneth, the largest stockholder of the food company Cargill, round out the top three at $7.3 billion. Not bad. All right, well, next time you go to Ballpark Village, you will notice some changes. The Brew House will reopen later this month after a $4 million renovation. The Brew House will now have a garden bar and a crown hall. You'll also notice a larger event space in the 3-story Brew House. It opens, mark your calendars, on April 17th and will host bands and DJs several nights a week. All right, that's going to do it for us. Thanks so much for watching Michelle on the Money. For more money stories like these, be sure to join me every day on Today in St. Louis starting at 5 a.m. In the meantime, we'll see you again next weekend right here on the 5 Plus app.